Hey guys, Furum here, and today I'm going to be testing the Lamborghini Aventador SV in Asphalt 9 multiplayer. I am a bit congested at the time of recording this, so that is why I may sound a little bit different. So this car was given to me by Gameloft, but I bought packs to 3-star it up, and my upgrades are 8888 with all the import parts I could apply to it. So you may be wondering, why did I say that this is my good luck car? Well, the SCG, which I tested not too long ago, unfortunately at 2 stars, while it is an extremely good car, I just seem to have horrible luck with it. When I land on somebody, I get knocked down, I'm the only one who gets knocked down at the beginning of a race, and stuff like that. And it happens, like, in at least half the races I play in the SCG. However, with the Aventador, I get much better luck. When I land on somebody, I knock them down. I don't get knocked down at the beginning of races usually, and although it may not be better than the SCG necessarily, I can do better in it, just because of that reason, and it doesn't make much sense, but that's the way it seems to be for me. And because the 3-star Aventador is only 2 miles per hour slower than the 2-star SCG, I've managed to pull out some pretty good wins in it just by driving better, I guess. Some of which you will see in this video, including the very next race, which is probably one of the most epic races and closest races I've ever played in the Lamborghini. In this race, the car that we beat was a 3-star SCG, interestingly, which has approximately the same rank as me, but it's faster by a few miles per hour, and we beat him by a fairly large margin too. That's what I mean. This car, while it may not especially be better, just I can do really well in for some reason. Okay, now for one of the most intense and closest races I have ever played. My opponents are a 2-star SV as well as 2 4-star SCGs. Yes, maxed out SCGs, which I'm not exactly sure how people manage to even do on Windows, because I went through that SCG event and got at least 3/4 of all the blueprints you could get in it, and I still barely managed to 2-star it, and that was with buying 5 in the shop for 500,000 credits. Now, I'm aware that you can probably get some in career, but 4-starring it is a lot of blueprints. So there has been some debate whether the left or right route is better there. I usually pass people when I go the left route, even if it's not by much, so that is the way I usually go. So those 2 cars behind me right now are in fact those 2 4-star SCGs. Now I would say the main statistical advantage that the SCG has over the SV is probably the better nitro efficiency, but the SV's isn't too bad either. The SV's drifting may be a little worse, but I believe its acceleration is slightly better. And I think that faster acceleration, even though it has slightly slower speed, is what can give the SV a slight advantage in some case. However, I would still say the SCG is generally a better car. It's just that I do better in the SV. Because beating 2 4-star SCGs has not happened for me in any other car, nor have I come close to it. So I guess my main point in this video is to show you guys that the SV is in fact a good car, because it's gotten a little bit of a bad rap with people saying it's not especially great, but I beg to differ. In this race we are facing a 3-star SCG, a 3-star Vulcan, and a 4-star Vulcan. So the 4-star Vulcan, along with the SCG, is another very close competitor for this car. It is slower, however it accelerates faster. I'm not sure about the nitro efficiency, but I believe it has better drifting. But I have managed to beat more 4-star Vulcans in my SV than have beaten me, although some have been some very, very close races. Oh, and I meant to mention this earlier, but these races were recorded in the previous season. In the current season, you cannot use the SV, Vulcan, or SCG, because it is the Corvette season, and the thing is about the Corvette, it is a really, really bad car for its rank, and really not worth going for. Even a 5-star Corvette Grand Sport, which is almost at 4,000 rank, it's like 3,800 or something, it's worse than a 4-star 2,900 rank Vulcan, it's worse than a 1-star SCG, I think, or maybe a 2-star, and it's worse than the Cadillac Cian and the Ford GT. So yeah, basically, it is not worth going for. And you will hardly see any in the current season because of its restrictive availability and because it really just isn't all that great. So in this race we got beat by that 3-star SCG, although not by much, but we did beat those 2 Vulcans. Now this race and the one after it are kind of an example of what I call my good luck in this car, with knockdowns in these cases. So as you can definitely see in this race, the SV does in fact start up slower than the Vulcan, although it's not by too much. Now, the Vulcan I'm facing in this race is actually a 3-star Vulcan, which my Vulcan is currently at right now as well. My Vulcan is at 3-star, I'm at like 24 out of 42 blueprints to 4-star it. Once I 4-star it, and once the season comes out where I can actually use it, I will be testing it in multiplayer. Some other upcoming videos for Asphalt 9, I have a 2-star W70 and a 2-star DB11, which I've already recorded, just need to edit the videos together. Now here is the crazy knockdown. So I shockwave, barely touch him, but yet still somehow knock him down. I think it had also to do with me pushing him against the side, but that was completely unintentional. As most of my knockdowns are, if you get knocked down by me in multiplayer, know that I was most likely not trying to do it. So here we've beat this 3-star Vulcan, and I understand why people use it so much in multiplayer. Not only is it quite good, but it's also very fun to drive. It's easy to drive too. Here is the second of our races in which I get kind of a lucky and unintentional knockdown. So this guy is in a 2-star SV, so that's why he started up slightly slower at the beginning. But here I go up this ramp as usual, flat spin, do my stuff, brake to shockwave, and then I land on him. Not even meaning to, but he just got under me. Things like that never happen to me when I'm driving my SCG, but always happen to me when I'm driving my SV. It's so weird. And it being a purple car definitely helps too. You know, purple just gives you good luck. Or maybe that's just for me. So this next race is on Shanghai against a 3-star Vulcan and a 2-star SCG, as well as a Nissan GTR Nismo, which I've actually gotten recently, and 2-starred. It has quite good acceleration, however its top speed is very bad. Somebody figured out that it has almost identical stats to the Acura NSX at 4 stars. Which, don't get me wrong, is not very bad, but the thing is, it is an A-class car. It is just on par with the C-Class King. And the GTR is a lot slower than all of the other A-Class cars. So yeah. Just under a week ago, I hit 11,000 subscribers. I would like to say thank you again to all of you. I know I said it in the stream, but I would like to say it again. And if you've not seen it yet, I made a video entitled My YouTube Story, which is basically me just going through, well, my YouTube story, just how I got started, what I did, my other channel. So definitely check that out if you would like to see how I got to where I am today. And in case you have not seen my YouTube story video, nor my 10,000 subs FAQ video, I'm going to be doing a face reveal at 25,000 subscribers. That is probably the #1 most requested thing on my entire YouTube channel. And now you guys know when it's coming, now we just have to get there. So we come up to the end of this race, use a shockwave to get high speed up this ramp, then cancel nitro, and then use single nitro to have nitro all the way to the finish line. We beat a 3-star Vulcan, and we both beat a 2-star SCG. ProTM is Dr. Hulution's team for you guys who didn't know, and I seem to race one of their members in almost every single race that I play. Now for another race on Shanghai against a 4-star Vulcan, a 2-star SV I think, and another SV as well. And again, 2 of them are in the Pro Team. Since I know Dr. Hulution quite well, ProTM and Legions United have kind of a friendly competition going on, so it's always quite fun whenever I race them in multiplayer. Now this goes for ProTM members as well as everybody else. I never try to knock down somebody in multiplayer intentionally unless they knock me down first. Then I might come for them later in the race. But if you leave me alone, I'll leave you alone. But if you come for me, I'm coming for you later. So probably the most important skill you can learn in Asphalt 9, both in multiplayer and just in general, for events and career too, is when to use what kinds of nitro, when to drift, when not to drift, stuff like that. Because if you have a very good car and you don't know how to use it, you don't know when to use nitro or when to use the different kinds, you're not going to do very well, and you likely will get beat by a lot of lower ranked and slower cars that do know how to use it better. And oh yeah, I got the Forza Horizon 4 demo. It apparently finished installing during that race. So here we've beat this SCG and that Vulcan. So back to what I was saying about nitro. One reason nitro is the most important thing is because nitro in Asphalt 9, unlike Asphalt 8, is mainly used to help get you up to your top speed. It also goes like 8 miles per hour beyond that, but its main purpose is really to help you get up to speed after corners, at the beginning of races, stuff like that. And if you don't use it when you should, or the different kinds when you should, you can really get slowed down a whole lot. And in that case, it's not going to matter whether you have 10 miles per hour faster top speed than the guy who just passed you, because you still have to get up to that speed, and he's already at his full speed. So that is the most important thing to practice and learn in Asphalt 9. Learn when to use the different kinds of nitro. I have a helpful video on that called How to Go Fast in Asphalt 9, and if you are struggling with this, I would definitely recommend checking that out. I am sure it will help you out. So now we're coming up to a part of Cairo that there's also a big debate about which way is better, left or right. So at first I went right, and then I began going left pretty much all the time. But recently I've figured that although I can often pass people by going to the left when they go right, going to the right, skillfully, is probably faster than going to the left, if you know how to do it right. So recently I have begun trying to learn the right route better, and I think that will probably give better results once you master it. So here we've beat a fellow RPM member in his Ford GT, which is actually one of the best cars to use in the current season. However, only after you 2 or 3 star it. It's not all that great at 1 star because it has quite a low starting rank, and the thing is about cars with low starting ranks, while they may be as fast as a car at higher ranks, usually they have worse other stats, so like worse acceleration or worse drifting. Like the Ford GT has pretty bad drifting from what I've heard, even though it's fairly fast. And the Aston Martin DB11 and the Jaguar F-Type, while they may be able to reach very high speeds at very low ranks, they have horrible acceleration, and their drifting isn't great, and neither is their nitro efficiency. And that is why the Jaguar, even though it has a very high speed, is probably one of the worst Class B cars. Speed is not nearly as important in this game as it was in Asphalt 8. I would argue that acceleration is probably the most important statistic, followed by top speed, and then handling and nitro efficiency. Because if you got good acceleration and good top speed, you can deal with bad drifting and nitro efficiency. But as to why I believe acceleration is more important generally than top speed, if you've got a very high top speed like that Jaguar for example, and you can't reach it, well, it's no good. And then in cars like my Acura for example, which has very good acceleration but not especially high top speed, I was able to reach my highest rating last season in it because of a couple good wins that I pulled out against some Vulcans and the like. Now, of course, there were plenty of times when I didn't win because they passed me because of my lower speed, but on tracks that have lots of twisties, good acceleration can really help. So in this race we beat 2 4-star Vulcans, I believe, as well as a 3-star one. Now for our final race of the video, we have a battle against a 4-star Vulcan, a 2-star SCG, and a 2-star Aventador SV. So I guess now it's time for me to give my final thoughts on this car. It is a very good car, better than what most people give it credit for. I believe it goes 230 miles per hour at this rank, at 3 stars, and most of its other stats are fairly good. While there's nothing especially impressive about its nitro efficiency or acceleration, they're still fairly good, and you can pull out some wins against some probably higher ranked and maybe even faster cars like the SCG, or against slower but faster accelerating cars like, say, the Vulcan. I believe this car is very well-rounded, and if you can get used to its mediocre drifting, you can do quite good in it in multiplayer. So if you did manage to get this car, it was definitely worth it. If you didn't manage to 2 or 3 star it, don't worry about it. It may still be okay in multiplayer, and if you don't use it in multiplayer and have better cars, you can still use it in career as another A-class car. It's just all around fairly useful. And if you didn't pick up this car, don't worry either. There are a lot of other cars that are good in multiplayer as well. Good alternatives like the Vulcan and SCG. So we are coming up to the end of this race. That 2-star SCG is the one right behind me. He is 2 miles per hour faster because that's my SCG as well, which I do want to make a video out of, and here I managed to beat him. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like the video if you've enjoyed, and consider subscribing for Asphalt 8 and Asphalt 9 content, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!